Welcome everyone, I'm Lando, and this is Xploring Game Pass. Today's review, The Artful Escape. Let's get into it.
See a blonde-haired boy, he be playing in the fields, and his daddy lifts him up behind his steering wheel. He says, one day, son, this'll all be yours, and the banks of the rivers are lined in gold.
In The Artful Escape, you play as Francis Vendetti, a quirky teenager feeling the pressure of expectation while trapped in the shadow of his late uncle, the iconic folk musician and hometown hero, Johnson Vendetti. First off, this is a unicorn of a game. Truly an experience like no other game I've ever played. It's simple yet deep, specific yet relatable, completely foreign yet oddly familiar. And the fact that the story is told through the act of playing guitar was a cherry on top for me personally. But don't be concerned that the experience relies on having a musical or creative background, as the story's theme of self-discovery, expectations, and developing the courage to be true to who you are and who you want to be is something we can all identify with and is the true driver of this experience. The voice acting is some of the best I've ever heard in a game. The cast is packed with recognizable names from movies and TV, and the actors do a wonderful job getting you invested in the characters and making their motivations believable and relatable. The game flexes their cast in the opening credits scene, which I think is a great move. My anticipation grew with each name I recognized. It's also pretty cool that they give you a taste of the Johnson Vendetti himself, and you get a sense of how incredible an artist Johnson Vendetti was, and the size of shoes the character you play as, Francis Vendetti, is expected to fill. Speaking of the music, it's incredible. It is top shelf and can hold its own outside of the game. Just listen to this song. First time I slid down a hill in an intergalactic one-piece suit on a planet in a galaxy unknown while melting faces clean off with the most epic solos this side of the universe has ever seen is an incredible feeling. I broke out in goosebumps multiple times, which blew me away. But, yes, we're into the butt section now. As magical as the first few levels are, and believe me, they are pure magic, that magic eventually starts to fade and faces start to feel less melted with each new level. Once I lost the goosebumps, I struggled to get them back and was left chasing the dragon, searching for the connection I had at the beginning of the game. It kind of felt like this.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good, though.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!
That was a wild over-exaggeration for the sake of hilarity, but the sentiment is still true. The magic fades to a degree with each passing level, but the speed at which this happens, if at all, will differ for everybody, so you won't know how you'll respond until you play it for yourself. To add to this, holding X to shred initially feels wonderful, but becomes less impressive as it starts to feel automatic and not something you as a player is really in control of. Also, I grew tiresome of the riffs and phrases after hearing them on repeat, and on occasion I would put the guitar away and just simply run through the level. I wish they would have allowed you to assign riffs to buttons and give you some choice as you soloed, and maybe when you beat a boss you'd learn their riffs and you could add them to your repertoire so you grew as a guitar player as you progressed through the game. Adding to that, I really wish you could select a style of guitar playing. And the riffs would change depending on whether you chose heavy metal, rock, jazz, blues as examples. It would have been neat to experience this and discover what type of guitar player I ended up becoming. It's a little strange that a game with a plot centered around creating your own path in life gives you virtually no choice in this journey, outside of your stage name and appearance. Not only can you not divert from the path laid out ahead, you can't even decide how to walk that path that you are forced to take. To contrast that point though, the gameplay elements I proposed may actually have taken away from the experience, as the driving force behind the game is definitely not gameplay, but the themes, characters, music, and visuals. It's hard to say what effect these elements would have had, but I would have welcomed the opportunity to create my own solos and my preferred style of music and develop my own sound as I made this intergalactic journey. For the achievement hunters out there, all 1,000 Gamerscore points available are achievable with a single playthrough. Now for a grade. A-. This game comes hot out of the gate. It does a fantastic job of setting the tone, pun 100% intended, but the repetitiveness and lack of effect that you as a player has on the story takes it out of the top tier for me. I will admit though, I came back to this game recently to get gameplay for this review and I got goosebumps again on my second playthrough. This game hits, and it hits good. And now for the friends section. Here at Xploring Game Pass, we like to invite our friends on the channel to get their thoughts on the games we review, to provide you with another perspective. Today we have our friend Joe from the channel Endless Gaming Horizon, a channel that covers an endless horizon of gaming-related topics such as reviews, news, memories, collecting, and much more. What did you think of The Artful Escape, Joe?
So yeah, thanks Lando for allowing me to be a part of your show and talk about my thoughts on The Artful Escape. For me personally, The Artful Escape is a beautiful platforming game that has a beautiful vibe to it, with the shredding of the guitar impacting the landscape. Just such a beautiful game, both in sound, nature, and as well as the message. I mean, for me, The Artful Escape, it really speaks a lot to me, even through the message, to give me hope that I should not be afraid of what other people see me as and really focus on my own passions and live it to the fullest. So yeah, this is what I feel about The Artful Escape. It's really beautiful, but also at the same time, it's a really fun experience with amazing, characters, but also at the same time, it's a very short and well done indie adventure.
Yes, Joe, I could not agree more. The message is great and had me taking time for self-reflection, which is rare for a game to accomplish. And I'm glad you mentioned the effect guitar playing has on the environment, because it's cool, fun, and something I overlook, so thank you. That's all for this one. I'd like to thank my friend Joe from Endless Gaming Horizons for being on the show. Please go check out his channel and show him some love. His love of video games is infectious, and you may end up binge watching his content like I did, so you might want to clear your schedule before you head over there. I'll leave his channel link in the description of the video. Well, I hope you're all enjoying the games you're playing, and I'll catch you on the next one.